Hi there, welcome to Series 15 and number 7. And as we go here, I'm going to read a little bit of Genesis chapter 27, unpack it, and then I'll read the next bit, and so on and so on. It may even take a couple of weeks, I don't know. This part talks about Rebekah and Jacob plotting to deceive Isaac. So it says in verse 1, "Now it came to pass when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, that he could not see, that he called Esau his son and said to him, 'My son.' And he answered him, 'Here I am.' Then he said, 'Behold, now I'm old. I do not know the day of my death. Now therefore, please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and make me savoury food such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die.'" Now, as we unpack this a little bit, it says there, "Now it came to pass when Isaac was old." Isaac believed his time had come to die. And this is the way that he was settling his affairs, so to speak. Sort of his last will and testament, and the blessing that he was going to give was part of that. His old age was evident because of his weakened eyesight. His eyes were so dim that he could not see. Now, saying that Isaac was old doesn't mean that he was necessarily near death. Martin Luther calculated Isaac's age to be 137 at this point, and he actually lived to be 180. So there's probably 43 more years to go. He goes on to say, "Make savoury food such as I love." Now, Isaac asked for food, but he was seemingly more interested in Esau's power as a hunter. We later find out that he could not taste the difference between what Esau hunted in the field and what his wife Rebekah could prepare from the flock, which was given to him. But more about that later. It wasn't the taste of food that attracted him, but his love of the thought that Esau was a really good hunter. He goes on and says, "That my soul may bless you before I die." And strangely, Isaac was going to insist on giving the blessing to Esau, the one who God did not choose, who despised his birthright and who married pagan wives. It seems like Isaac was rejecting the godly thinking and spiritual wisdom and instead valued only the taste of treasured food and the common man-centered ideas of strength and power. In the willingness of his own old age, Isaac was determined to pass his blessing to Esau, despite the fact that the Lord had said, and what the boys had shown in their lives. The fact that Isaac tried to grant the blessing secretly showed he knew he wanted to do the blessing, and that would be wrong. Sadly, in this house, it seems nobody seems to trust each other. It says in verse 5, "Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt game and to bring it. So Rebekah spoke to Jacob, her son, saying, 'I heard your father speak to Esau, your brother, saying, bring me game and make some savoury food for me, that I may eat it and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you. Go now to the flock and bring me from there 2 choice kids with goats, and I will make savoury food for them for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall take it to your father, and that he may eat it, that he may bless you before his death.'" Notice it says here, Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke. The account doesn't specify whether she was spying on him or anything like that. It doesn't actually say there's anything inappropriate, but she heard. The feeling is, though, from most people, that there's some scheming and spying going on. But it is possible that she just casually overheard this important conversation. She was part of the household. She was in and out of Isaac's tent, most definitely. When Esau went to the field, Rebekah came up with a plan. Notice it says, "Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice according to what I command you." This is interesting terminology. Instead of saying trust in God to fulfill his promise, Rebekah used manipulation and scheming to accomplish her preference of what she thought was God's plan. Good men have gone very wrong when they have thought that they were aiding the fulfillment of the promises of God. Isn't that interesting? See how Rebekah here errs in trying to get the promise and manipulating it as if she has to help God to make it happen. We better leave the Lord's decrees, I think, in the Lord's hands. It says there that I will make savoury food for them, for your father, just as he loves. Rebekah knew her husband well, and to know that he couldn't tell the difference between what was prepared by Esau or by her own cooking. She knew what he loved. She'd been cooking for him for a long time, for goodness sake. Yeah. In verses 11 and a little bit further on, we see that the preparations are made for Jacob's deceptive attempt to steal the blessing. It says, "And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, 'Look, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I am smooth-skinned. Perhaps my father will feed me, and I shall seem to be a deceiver to him, and I shall bring a curse on myself, not a blessing.' But his mother said to him, 'Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go and get them for me.' And he went and he got them, and he brought them to his mother. And his mother made savoury food, such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took some choice clothes from her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her youngest son. And she put skins of the kids of the goats on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the savoury food and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob." Well, notice it says, "Perhaps my father will fear me and I shall be a deceiver to him." Well, that's what you are. But anyway, Jacob, true to his name, which means trickster or scoundrel, was happy to go along with his plan. His only concern was, would it succeed? When we are willing to abandon the question of right and wrong, and when our concern is what works, we agree with the modern ideal of pragmatism. I think that's very evident in churches today, isn't it? Anyway, moving further on, he went and got them. He brought them to his mother. And once Jacob overcame his fear of getting caught in his deception, he was ready to carry it out. Rebekah manipulated both Isaac and Jacob, but Jacob was a willing partner in the manipulation. It goes on here. The father, Jacob, Esau, Rebekah, the whole lot of them. It's significant at this point in the drama. Each acted for their own personal centered wisdom and energy, not according to the divine or the spiritual wisdom. None of them seemed to turn to God and say, "Hey, what do you think?" Even Esau, in agreeing to Isaac's plan to give him the birthright, disregarding his promise to allow Jacob to have his birthright, bears this out. All four of them did not trust, firstly, each other, but even worse, they didn't trust the Lord. They all schemed and plotted against one another and against God. The whole story reflects no credit upon any one of them. It's true, isn't it? Next week, we're going to look at the next part of that, and we'll see what happens. Bless you.